I think we're live. I see the
Yes, it's
YouTube.
happening.
Yeah.
Yes.
Done.
Okay, wonderful. All right, welcome to everybody, all the parents here. Thank you so much for being here today on a Friday evening. As always, it's a pleasure to see so many familiar names and so many new names. Welcome to each one of you. We're going to get started with our presentation for today. And let me share my screen here. Are you able to see my screen, everybody?
Yes.
My PowerPoint? Yes? Okay. Team, it's working okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we can see.
All right, so I am Dr. Shivani Pandit here. I'm a special educator. I have been working with children with autism and intellectual disabilities for the past 27, 28 years. I started Saamarthya Foundation with the explicit mission of reaching out to families that live in tier 2, tier 3 cities, and in places where there's lack of access to intervention, high quality intervention. We bring you a signature series of Swayam Parent Empowerment series in collaboration with SNIC Rehab Foundation. Very frequently, I think many of you know us by now and probably even know my introduction many times over. And we have here a couple of wonderful experts. We have Jaspreet Kaur. We have known her for the past 2 sessions. She's been delivering NIOS sessions for all of you. Thank you, Jaspreet, for being here. Today, we have our speaker, Ms. Reena Gupta, the founder director of Office of Learning Support at Ashoka University. Thank you so much for being here. Our parents are going to be incredibly, grateful to you and your presence and whatever you share with us today. We also have our team here. Today's facilitator is Ms. Bhavna Pandey, program manager at Saamarthya. We have Riddhi Dedia, the Director of Programs at Saamarthya, and Sanika Kelkar, a social media manager at Saamarthya, as well as Kanchi Goswami, our occupational therapist at Saamarthya. And without a further ado, I would like to invite Ms. Harshali Kharche, the founder director of SNIC Rehab Foundation, to say a few words about SNIC. As always, ever so grateful to you, Harshali, for your partnership with Saamarthya in all that we are able to do together as two organizations in reaching out to families all over the country and really sharing information and knowledge via the experts that we invite. So thank you again, Harshali, and the floor is yours.
Great. Good evening, everyone. So great to see you here again. One more time, I'm so happy to bring you this with, of course, Saamarthya Foundation. They are doing fabulous job, and I would like to thank you first to Saamarthya Foundation, Shivani Di, and all their team. They are doing very nice job and helping our parents very much. I always say, and again want to say, they are so generous and so helpful to our parents, because I'm Harshali Kharche from Nagpur, from SNIC Rehab Foundation. I'm a parent of 2, and this foundation is for parents, by the parents. But Saamarthya is really, it's like, it's so much close to my heart, because selflessly they are working for us. So to start with SNIC, it's a, I always say, I'm here to empower the parent. We always would like to empower parent and connect to the right professional. We are not professional, but we have such a wonderful professionals. Those are in similar vision with us, that they want to help parents, and they also want that right kind of directions, and they should get the satisfaction with respect to their overall development of a child and even a family. So we are always working on to sensitize and educate the society about their challenge faced by special needs. And we run various programs in that. We run awareness programs, power empowerment programs. We have done many activities with kids. Also, we have done many financial advisory program also with Saamarthya also. So I always believe in community support in overall, like mental health as well as physical health. So we are working on that. So without any delay, I would like to hand over this today's session, Ms. Reena Gupta. She is founder director of Office of Learning Support, Ashoka University. I would like to welcome her and introduce herself in detail. Thank you so much and welcome, ma'am. Over to you.
Hi, good evening. Good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I must say that parents, when Bhavna reached out to me for an interaction with the parents, I said, okay, this is one group which is my second favorite to talk with. Okay. First favorite, of course, is the student community. I love to talk with the students, especially the neurodivergent, because I know the value they bring to the community and to our lives, and to really make our neurodivergent kids successful. The second best people that I love to interact with are the parents, because they are the people who are going to be the doers of what I want to do, and what I want to bring into this community. So very happy to be part of this program. And the way we are going to do is I am going to have a presentation. I have a few slides, although if you ask me, I would rather just chat with all of you, share ideas, exchange ideas. But I also realize that slides do have a role to play. They keep us anchored, and the conversations are also structured, right? So only because of that, I have a few slides to share here, which I'm going to start. Give me a few seconds. It does take me some time. Okay, this was quick. All right. So, this is about higher education after NIOS. I must give a disclaimer here. I am not an NIOS expert, but I have worked extensively with the student community at schools, and I have been working with the college students for last 10 plus years at Ashoka. And I have observed the changes that happen when students transition from school to college. What makes them a successful learner at a college level, and what doesn't, right? And talking about NIOS, if I talk about Ashoka University, we have quite a few students who come from the NIOS board. Okay, so that gives you an understanding that Ashoka University does take students from NIOS board, right? So just a few slides, a few slides on setting up the context. I know that I have been introduced here, but like I said, I have worked in a school system with students with hidden disabilities or invisible disabilities, or the better word that's being used is neurodivergent, right? I started this Office of Learning Support at Ashoka, various support systems, and very interestingly, the office was set mainly for neurodivergent. 2014, that was the conversation. That was the first year that Ashoka welcomed its undergraduate students. And that was the time when I started having conversations with them. And I knew that there is still an awareness about physical disabilities, but nobody, at least in higher education, knew about neurodivergent community. I'm talking about students with dyslexia, with dysgraphia, ADHD, autism. There are several, right? That was the main reason behind setting up this office. Of course, from the first year itself, we did open our gates for even physical disabilities. So over last 9 years, 10 years now, our office has supported all kinds of disabilities. So we have had students with autism, with hearing impairment, with visual impairment, all severe to moderate to mild dyslexia, and dysgraphia and all other conditions, right? The third part that you can see on the screen is a point on college readiness program for high school students with disabilities. This program is very, very close to my heart because I sincerely feel that there is so much that students can do at school level to prepare themselves better for higher education. And I'm not talking only about Ashoka, but in general, all students with physical disabilities or with neurodivergence, while they are at school, while they are doing whatever they are learning, they can also, there is a component of college readiness that the parents, the educators, the counselors, students can start working on. So we will be talking about that aspect, as we go along. Another point I just wanted to mention regarding the presentation is that, I will be taking questions in between. I don't want to wait for, last half an hour or last 45 minutes. So as and when you have questions, write it down if you have a scope there on the chat or on a paper with you, raise your hand, and maybe after a slide or two, I will pause and I will take a few questions. But I'll take questions only pertaining to whatever I am talking about. If a question comes for something which I have to talk later, I will have to defer that question. Yeah, is that clear? Yeah, okay, perfect. Okay, so first few slides, we are just trying to set the context. Important thing is for you to know, while I am at Ashoka University in a higher ed institution, my heart lies with school students. So if given a chance, I'll go back to the school and I'll work with the students there. A parent's voice, extremely important. Because we are mainly talking about the NIOS here, I think as a parent, you all should, and I'm sure you already are, clear about the reason for choosing the NIOS board for your ward. If anybody is not clear about it, then we need to discuss that. There is a reason why an NIOS board is selected for our students. It doesn't have to be only for disability. I hope you all know that, right? NIOS somehow is related to the neurodivergence or disability, but you all know that it is not. It can be for anybody who wants to have a more flexible way of learning, right? So in your minds as a parent, please have this clarity that, there is a reason why you or your ward has chosen NIOS as a board. As a parent, of course, we all are always willing to do everything possible to get the best of the education possible for our kids, right? So I don't think anybody can have a doubt on that. We all want our girls, our boys, our kids to get the best of what we can provide to them. There is always a mixed feeling of confusion, sometimes feeling happy, feeling content, comfort. You feel empowered when you sit in some sessions, when you have somebody talking about what can be done. You go back, you again feel confused, you again feel helpless, right? So there are always these mixed feelings, but believe me, every time you are part of these kinds of sessions, there is definitely something that you take away, right? And I would suggest that you keep a note of all of that. Even if you feel that, okay, you might not get 100% of what you are expecting, but even if you get 40 to 50%, that's the progress. Questions about next steps and future, which is, I think, true for all of us in general. Also, we are all worried about, what's going to happen. If our kid is doing NIOS board, what to study, where can they go for higher education, and how to make that actually happen for them, right? I'm going to take a pause here. If anybody has anything to add to this voice, to this parent's voice, just either say it out, raise your hand, or put it in the chat. Only pertaining to the parent's voice, these points that I have written here, if you have anything to add to this, I'll be happy to add them.
So there is a question which has come into the chat box. I have just come across my daughter SLD in last December while she was giving 10th standard CBSE board, which means the child was diagnosed during the board exams. So I'm completely lost with his SLD NIOS. How does it work after 12th? I'm not sure.
Okay, so that's a question in general, which we anyways will be covering in our session, right? So I'm going to defer that question.
The second question is, will they be able to manage in a regular college? So this is not just a question of this parent, but I think almost every parent thinks that, will my child be able to manage it in regular college?
Yeah, we will address this bit also. Okay. Yeah, I got that question. Are there colleges, which I'm reading the chat, Bhavna.
Sure.
What to do now during high school to prepare? I love that question. Yeah, that's what the college readiness thing is all about. Exactly. Anybody wants to add to the feelings to the slide that I have up there in terms of your voices, your feeling? So that's a query assessment method. Yes. Again, that's a question. Agree. Anybody wants to add a feeling there? Any part of the voice that I have missed here? Confused, yes. Feeling confused, and what after school? Exactly, so that's feeling of confusion. Yes, let's pour out our feelings here, because we need to get into that mode of, I mean, we can't be only doing a Q&A here that, please give me answer for this question. I want you to feel, this is a place where you can voice it out, whatever your feelings are as a parent. Fear of bullying, inclusion. Yes, great. A lot of anxiety. Absolutely. Into the big world. I love that, Tanuja. Scared.
Fear of failure. That's another important thing.
Sorry?
Fear of failure. I think that's very big thing.
She will do in future. Fear of failure, yeah. Anxious.
Uncertainty.
Yeah.
Miss Jaspreet has her hand raised. I think she wants
I'm
to share
loving
something.
these feelings that people, and everybody's writing there. They're just so nice. Will they be able to come out unharmed from today's situation? Yeah.
My concern has always been, I'm a mother to a neurodivergent adult, and it's not just about, if she'll be able to, finding the right fit for her. Most importantly, the right fit is difficult to find because there really are no very obvious choices.
Yeah.
There are no very obvious inclinations. So it's for me to decide from her various reactions as to where the inclination lies. Not just that, the area I choose for her should be safe, but most importantly, whatever areas I'm coming across, not just for my daughter, but for the other students, who've just cleared senior secondary years, all these areas, they're sort of, teaching them. They're academic areas. So I'd much rather she go into field where she continues to be the happy person she is right now. She learns a lot of functional skills that lead towards, not employability alone. What I want for her when I'm not there primarily is that she should be gainfully occupied. See, most of us, whether from the middle class or the lower class, we're going to leave an infrastructure whereby they're very well provided for. But what I primarily want is that whatever area I choose for her right now keeps her gainfully and happily occupied after I'm not there. Sorry, that's my 2 bit.
Yeah. So that's your feeling. Correct. Thank you so much. Yeah. All right. So I think we have quite a good. Can we Bhavna? Can we save these points that parents have shared here? If we can copy
Sure,
paste them somewhere, I don't want to lose them. These are actually really
sure,
helpful.
sure.
Uh, yeah. So thank you so much for sharing all of that. Yes. I think somebody had written that we. Let me just go back. Make them feel normal. I know normal, and save them from being bullied and name called. Yes, I know. Saving them from all the harsh world that we are living in uh, is the fear that we all parents go through. Uh, will the other kids be kind to our kids? So yeah, totally agree with all of this. Okay, so we'll move on. So because we are talking about the higher education bit, I am just going to share a few facts here. There are some good things which go in our favor. There are things which are not. So, the top box that you see there, the arrow going up, that's an upward trend of more enrollments in colleges. Colleges are opening up for students with disabilities or students who learn differently or students who are neurodivergent, whatever we want to call them. In fact, you all know the new education policy does make provision for all of that. Now, how it is implemented to actually make it successful is a thing to watch out for. But it is happening, and I'm saying it because uh, it's happening at Ashoka. It is happening at other universities we liaise with. There is an inclusive university alliance. So a lot of universities, colleges have come together. We are the co-founders of it, Ashoka University, OLS. And we are taking this whole concept of inclusion for neurodiverse kids in colleges across the country, right? You will understand that all these things do take time, but there is a huge intake. There is an intake of students with disabilities at colleges. So that's an upward trend. There is more awareness now. In fact, the UGC it has come out with the guidelines for inclusion and diversity in respective campuses, and they have made it mandatory for students with disabilities to be enrolled in higher ed institutions. The process is not that easy. I know, I'm aware that and I'm sure you all also know that while the government makes these policies which are highly welcomed, yes, there is a higher need to see the implementation part of it, right? To make universities accountable for what they have been asked to do. So that's a huge step to be taken by the government, but hopefully we'll reach there too. Higher education system is in the process of transformation for students with disabilities, for both visible and hidden ones. The reason why I say that is the campuses are being made accessible. The faculty, the teachers, the professors, the educators are being sensitized, are being trained to understand what neurodivergence means, because that's not a physical disability. One really needs to understand what happens in neurodivergence. There are a lot of faculty development programs that are being conducted at university level to because these professors are the ones who are going to teach in the university, so they need to be sensitized first. They need to be bought into the concept of inclusion in the universities. So, but that's an upward trend. So that's a positive part of it. The downside, I mean, completely based on my experience, is that I have seen students with disabilities coming to the colleges without having any plan, right? They have a very generic plan, and once they enter the university, everything falls flat for them. So either they drop out, many of them drop out. Believe me, many of them. It's not only at Ashoka, but I have I know about IITs, triple ITs, all these big colleges, students with disabilities do drop out because they were not prepared for the rigor and the independent learning that the universities, demand for. Students do not know what academic accommodations do they require, and how to convey their needs to people, to the authorities. So students are not, at colleges, parents are not going to be there to speak for them. Because the parents are not there, the teachers are not there, students themselves do not talk about themselves, do not come up and ask for help. And that is where things fall flat again for them. There is a misconception that if I get my kid into a college which has a support system, my kid will be successful. It doesn't happen that way. Even at Ashoka, there are many students with dyslexia, moderate to severe or mild dyslexia, or even autism. They get enrolled, but they don't want to take help, right? They don't want to take help because they feel, oh, I don't want to be seen as somebody who needs help. So, once they enter the college, but they may not be fully successful. Even the ones who take support from us, they are not necessarily completing their degree program here because there are other issues that crop up. We have a policy of treating all individuals as adults because they are adults. So the onus of taking help from our office is on the student. We follow up with them. We write hundreds of emails to them. We call them. We try to connect with them through their wardens, through their through their friends. But if they do not, reach out, if they do not ask for help, then we'll have to leave them. So, and many of them actually then take very long to graduate, or they have to drop out. So all these things happen. So it is not that, you enter a university which has a support system, my kid is all set. It's not like that. So there's a lot of work to be done before they enter the college. Yeah. Okay. Another
So there are
fact.
questions pouring in about the program, but I'm sure other following slides will address that.
Okay. Is there any question that I need to answer right now, Bhavna?
No, it's all about the program. People are curious to know what Ashoka has to offer.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Again, a few scenarios that cause an unsuccessful college experience are these. I'm just going to read from here. If you have any question about any of these points, please raise your hand or put it in the chat box. I'm just reading from here. Many of them are unable to manage the coursework effectively and independently. They find it difficult to adjust socially. They find it difficult to manage daily life activities. Some of them may lack confidence to ask for help when needed. Some of them may struggle with elevated anxiety. I'm not saying that this is what happens with every student with disability that comes to any university. This is for the students who actually are not able to take it forward, even when they enter the university. These are some of the reasons. Because it's important for you as a parent to know that, what are you preparing your kid for? It's not only the skill of reading, writing, and math, or doing the exam, or getting a grade, getting good marks. It's not only about that. Because believe me, I have interacted with a few parents who have done everything possible. I mean, they have approached the government, the school heads to get the best of the marks or the grades for their wards. Yeah, kind of unfair ways also to get to the grades or marks. But the moment they move out of school, they just cannot do anything on their own. And that's a huge mistake that parents make. So please make a note of these points, because these are the things which you need to work on while they are still in school. And you don't need to work separately for it. These can be easily integrated into your current, handling or managing of their learning conditions. Yeah.
So, Reena, we have a question here. What about
I'll take a
students who?
question.
What about students who cannot express well and they are also not wanting to be seen different?
So give me an example. I'll ask that parent to give me an example, please. Who do not speak.
Yeah. May I request Sujata Mehta to unmute herself and raise her question?
If she is comfortable doing it.
Okay. Should we move to other questions, or would you like to go ahead with?
No, I will answer. Anyway, can you repeat that question, Bhavna?
Okay. Yeah, this question was that it was, what about those students who cannot express well and they are also not wanting to be seen different?
Well, that is where there is a concept of self-awareness that I'm going to touch upon after this, almost immediately after this. And that's a very, very important aspect, because if the student does not have the confidence to talk about themselves, to feel or understand their learning ways, then that's the first area for you to address, right? If you really want them to go into higher education, especially the academics part of it, if they are going for academic oriented higher education, it's important for them to know about themselves, who they are. They don't have to talk about it to everybody else, but at least you as a parent and they as a kid, you both need to be talking about it. Now, giving you an example here, we have a few students at Ashoka who I know they have come to me in general, and I have heard from others at the campus that, that student has dyslexia or has autism, like I said, and they don't take help from my office. Some of them are doing absolutely fine, right? They may not need the accommodations. They may feel, yes, they may feel less confident. They may struggle socially, but they somehow, some of them just scrape through. It's all right if they feel comfortable with the environment without sharing their disability or talking about it. That's why a huge role of a parent here from the very beginning. Try to understand, why is the student not willing to talk about it or not willing to be seen different? If it is in an acceptable, range, absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But at least they should be aware. And that is what I'm going to talk about. There is a checklist that I want to give to all of you, which you can actually do with your student, with your kid, and see what they understand about themselves. That will help you. Is there any question, Bhavna, or should I move?
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
That was a nice explanation. I'm trying to work on it. So
yeah, I'll give you some resources, Sujata. I've brought them here in the slides, but I'll be very happy to share those with you separately also.
great. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, Reena, there are questions which I'm sure will be, addressed when you move your presentation.
Okay. All right. Got it. Okay. So then I'll move on. These are just common barriers maybe you all are aware of. Oops, sorry. I have to go back. Sujata, you might also want to understand why your daughter or your son, maybe I didn't get that. Why would they not be willing to talk about this? Because, this is what happens. We also have we as parents, we as educators, we as counselors, we also tend to have low expectations from these students, right? Because the moment we get to know, they have this learning condition, suddenly our mind says, oh, they can't do this. Our mind goes into what they cannot do, right? And believe me, if you as a parent think that my kid cannot do these, it will show in your behavior, even if you don't tell them. Your behavior towards them will be more towards negative side, right? You immediately as parent or as an educator, or we as counselors or people, we bring our expectations down, which doesn't go that well with the kids. Let's keep our expectations at par. We don't have to show to them, oh, it's okay if you don't get, it's okay if you don't do this. It's all right. I know that you have this learning condition. I know that you have a reading issue. You don't have to read this. A better way to address that is, this is what the reading is. I'll tell you how to read it in a different manner. Right? Because there are strategies. There are ways to read. You don't need to do the basic reading on a paper. Bring in technology. Make that reading happen for them and keep your expectations up. Yeah, that's very, very important. Your kids have to feel important. Yeah. Stereotyping the disability with subject options and careers possible. Now, I think I'll come to this point later on, because this is the most important part that we'll need to discuss in today's session. So I'll come to this part later. Students are unclear of options in front of them. You as parents are also unclear. So this is again a huge barrier. I'll have to move because, okay, need of students is high. Resources in the community are low. Yeah. We may say that we have educators, we have special educators, but there's not enough training for the educators and special educators. Unsure if declaring disability will weaken the application. This is mainly for higher education, because if many parents come to us, they write to us saying that, if I want to apply to Ashoka, but if I mention that my child has a disability, is it going to go against them? Right? So it does happen at many universities. I won't deny that. But yeah, so that's again a barrier, because you as a parent would not know which university is going to take it in a positive way, which is not going to take it. No clear messaging from colleges on available support system. You will not find anything written on their websites. Even if they are providing support, I mean, it's a task to, I'll take a very simple example of IITs or it's like all government funded. They have a quota for disability. People apply, but it's not a common knowledge in that sense. It's not available as a full stepwise process on their websites. So that's again because of the messaging not being clear. Parents, students are confused. They don't know if this is what is the right approach to apply to any of these colleges. Exploring career choices only in class 11 or 12. This is something that I had seen. Hopefully things have changed, because I haven't been to the schools in last few years. But at least when I was in the school system, I realized that, with disabilities also, we start thinking about career choices for them only when they are in class 12th or in class 11. Yeah. According to me, it's too late. It's too late. Coming to that point, stereotyping the disability with subject options and careers possible. I'll give you an example here. And this is an example of one of my students. I started working with her in 2009, I remember. She was in grade 2 at that time. Moderately dyslexic. Had a difficult time at school. Anyway, so she was at that school till class 10th. She did fairly well. Now, after class 10th, that school did not allow her to take science subjects. According to them, you have dyslexia and moderate dyslexia. You will not be able to manage science subjects after class 10th. She and her family fought tooth and nail, but somehow the school management just did not agree. They came to me, they asked me what to do. I had left that school by then. I said, change the school. I can tell that this girl can do science. Absolutely. If you are okay with her getting 60%, 70%, school should not be the one to decide for you. They changed the school. She took medical in class 11th and 12th. So she took PCB, physics, chemistry, and bio. Today, she's in her 3rd year of medical college at Lady Harding. So, stereotyping that you have a disability, you have dyslexia, you will not be able to do bio or physics or chemistry because bio at least has too many terms. You will not be able to spell them. You will not be able to read them. This girl is still struggling to read and write those terms because she is still dyslexic. But she is doing it extremely well there. She has gone and changed the mindset of the teachers there, educators there. She has fought to get the accommodations in place for herself there. Yeah. Again, another example, I mean, this is of course not for neurodivergent, but somebody with visual impairment, schools do not allow them to do science courses. They push them for history or English. That's perfectly fine if that is their area of interest. Blind students can definitely do, whoever wants to do, can do science if they want to do it. Let them do history, English, and other Hindi or Sanskrit or any other subject if they are interested in it. But schools do not do that. Schools do not allow them. So that stereotyping a disability is a huge, huge barrier, right? So this is just to, give a layout of what general common barriers people face or students face in schools. Any question here,
Many,
Bhavna?
many. So first is that what to do if an UGC recognized college refuses admission to student. That's from Jay, the students who requires accommodation like scribe and all. So as you mentioned, needs are high, resources are less. Do you see that kind of issue or there's something else in it?
Oh, there is definitely. So it's not only UGC approved. Any higher ed institution cannot deny admission to somebody who's doing an NIOS board. Cannot. So you have two options. You either take them to court. You sue them.
So he's saying if
Huh.
they deny the accommodations like scribe.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have gotten through the university, if you are there, scribe, you know what? And I'll be very honest here. I myself sometimes deny scribe to some of my students who are at Ashoka. The only reason I have enough scribes available, but I deny that to some of my students because I want them to be independent. Because at college level, they are supposed to prepare for life after college and to be independent. I train them into technology, usage of technology, so that they don't have to be depending on a reader or a scribe. And I would strongly, strongly recommend that you do this at school level itself. It is very difficult for students to start or get introduced to technology only when they enter college. Assistive technology does take time to understand and learn. Get started with it at school level so that when they enter college, they don't have to start afresh. They can focus on the content or the teachings or the learnings of the university. I do deny scribes to my students. I tell, they sit in my office, they say, ma'am, why? I said, you know what? I myself will sit with you and train you in technology. You just say yes to technology. I will give you the scribe till the time you are good with technology. But if you're saying that you will not use technology, you will not want to be independent, and you want to only keep using scribe through your 4 years at Ashoka, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. Each and every student then uses technology in Ashoka. I mean, whoever with the disability.
So
Happy
there
to
are
take-
related questions. One is, what percentage of neurodiverse hidden disabilities have completed college education at Ashoka? And there's another is, just like NIOS, the assessment methods at universities are not flexible like
Yeah.
NIOS.
Yeah. Okay, so the first percentage, I haven't actually checked the percentage, but every year I can say that we support around 60 to 70 students with neurodivergence and about 20, 25 with physical disabilities. So 80, 85 in a year. That's the percentage. 80, 85 out of 3,000 students as of today. So do your math there. So that's the percentage. What was the second question? I'm forgetting. The NIOS. Okay, see the flexibility at the admissions time.
No, at the assessments time, like in NIOS, there are lots of flexibility in during the assessments, but when they come to the college, obviously those kinds of supports are not available. So what do you want to say about that?
Yeah. So again, it depends on the college that you are in. Some professors are willing to make that accommodation for you, others are not, right? You have to keep at it. You have to keep fighting for it till that. And that's why I'm saying not every college is going to give you what you are asking for. So you got to be prepared yourself. That's where I'm again repeating, bring the technology in. So when you say a different method of assessment, yes, at the university level, that's difficult to do. Even at Ashoka, it doesn't happen. The same kind of question papers have to be are given. Only for physical disability or for visual impairment, of course, the question paper is completely changed because we don't give them anything with the diagrams if not required. But yeah, so that is a challenge. Yes, I agree. Assessments are not modified. Exams are not modified for neurodivergence.
So Reena, in that case, how students manage it? How do they cope with it? Because till 12th, they are used to of accommodations.
Yeah, see, again, Bhavna, I think that is why it's important for students to choose the college carefully, choose the courses carefully. In India, it is a challenge. There are very few colleges, universities which are being extremely flexible. Students and the colleges which are not flexible, you have to be prepared for it. You can't really do much. You won't be able to, although this girl I'm talking about at Lady Harding, she made things change at that college. She just kept going to the coordinator. She kept going to the principal. She kept going to her professors. Even one, if you are able to convince even one professor to change their assessment, methodology, that will set the trend. It's a long fight. It's not going to happen that easy, but you got to try for it.
So following questions are more on the technology. What kind of assistive technology should be used? And I'm sure your coming slides will answer that.
Yeah. We have somebody with their hand raised. I'll just take that question and then we'll go to the next slide.
Please.
Premal, right? Huh.
Yeah, hello, ma'am. In fact, I was asking, I've also written that the college is giving admission, but without the accommodation of providing a writer or even a laptop. So can we do something to ensure that, I mean, the admission is received, but we have not taken it because the writer is not available. So my son will not be able to cope up with it. So what do we do in this situation?
So you're saying the admission has been given,
Yes.
but they are not giving you the scribe and they are not allowing the laptop also?
Correct.
You know what? So help me. I mean, let's just talk separately on that, because I mentioned the Inclusive University Alliance. Some of the colleges, we have come together and we then would like to talk to these people. What is the reason why they're not doing it? Approach them through somebody who is who can talk to them.
That's a difficult call.
I know. Because, see, again, do you have another option of another college?
No, we are still looking for something because we don't have much time right now. He just completed 12th from NIOS and we want to get the undergraduation degree right now.
Yeah. So what are they saying that, throughout the college education, they will not let the students use laptop?
Yes. For the examinations, they are saying that they will not permit a laptop nor a writer. If you want the admission without that, we are ready to give it to you.
And if I may ask, what is the condition? What is the learning condition of your ward?
He's got dysgraphia. His writing legibility becomes a problem. In fact, in grade 10 and grade 12, also he has used a laptop or a scribe, for the exam.
Yeah.
And throughout the year in class, he was permitted a laptop to use for his regular.
That's a very normal, regular routine. So I don't think then that this is a college for you, for your son, because he's going to struggle there.
Okay.
Going to struggle. He's going to really struggle. If you can just write to me separately and we can talk about which college you are talking about, and then we'll see if we, through Inclusive University Alliance, if we can do something about it. But I would then not suggest this college if they are not willing to accommodate.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
One parent wants to know a little more about the Inclusive University Alliance.
So this is basically some universities, Ashoka, some IITs, IIT Delhi, IIT Mumbai, not IIT Mumbai, IIT Kanpur, IIT Madras, IIM Bangalore. So some of the universities, Kriya University, Azim Premji, we as universities, we have come together, created a kind of a consortium where we are going out to the other colleges and universities at tier 2 cities, tier 3 cities, and asking them, telling them about us and having them join the consortium. And we talk to them about how they can make their campuses inclusive for disabilities. Yeah, but of course, they have to be willing to do it. We are not forcing anybody, but we are working in that area. So that's the Inclusive University Alliance. Yeah.
So Reena, questions are many, but I think you can move forward on your presentation. Lots of parents want to know the names of the universities and colleges. Maybe post this call, if we can collaborate with you and get a list of, Alliance colleges, we will distribute it among our parents.
The names of colleges which are part of this alliance?
Which are part of this alliance, and even those who are not part of alliance, but in your knowledge are inclusive colleges in different parts of the country. If you can provide a kind of list to our parents, it will be really helpful.
ठीक है. I do have one or two lists to share, but I think we have another one which I don't have right now, but I'll share it with you. I think after this session, Bhavna, we can connect for more resources.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay. So I'll move on here. I have a lot of points to talk about. So where to start from? I think it's important for you. These are the 6 steps. And of course, the most important ones are the 2, 3, 4, 5. But where you start is you take a step back. You assess the self-awareness of your ward. That is the most important, and that should answer Sujata's question. That becomes like a first step. You got to see, does your son, your daughter, do they know about themselves? So assess their self-awareness. Examine the expectations, yours and your ward's, as per the strengths and support they need. Right? Focus on strengths equally as you focus on the areas of challenges. Right? Identify the best suited programs. Overall, create a college readiness toolkit. Go ahead and dive in. Yeah. I am going to talk about points 2 to 5 in my subsequent slides. So I'm going to start with the second and third, the self-awareness as well as examining your own expectations and talking about their strengths and support. So, so what I have here is, I have here is self-awareness bit that I just mentioned, but this is again mainly for the students. So the I here, when you see that I, how aware am I, that I is a student, not you as a parent. Okay. How aware am I of the diagnosis and the nature of my learning condition? Now, these are just a few pointers. What are my academic and non-academic strengths? Which academic and non-academic areas are challenging for me and will surely need help for? I'm just reading them out from here. What can I tell about my social strengths and weaknesses? How will I describe my organizational skills, my study skills, and my problem-solving skills? What kind of creative work I enjoy engaging in? What kind of new things I enjoy learning more about? These are a few important pointers of self-awareness for students. Yeah. And similar thing I have just converted into like a checklist for learning needs. It's more of a yes or no. Am I aware of my academic strengths? Am I aware of the learning difficulties that I face? That's how it goes. I'm not going to read the rest of them. I will share these with you, right? I will suggest that you actually conduct this checklist and the previous one with your ward, with your son, daughter. Yeah, this will really, really help. And this will help them, but I'm sure it's going to help you also as a parent. You will also know these things because we as parents, we tend to focus more on what they cannot do and only focus on that. There are many, many other facets of learning. Should I take 2 questions that we have here? Preeti, Premal, do you still have a question? Your hand is still up.
No, I'm sorry. I don't have it. It's done.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you.
I'll take Preeti's question then.
Ms.
Preeti,
Preeti, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay. Anyway, so we'll move on, Bhavna. So the self-awareness bit for the student, as well as, of course, in the process, you also get to know about your kid.
No, ma'am, I have a question, Preeti.
Yes, Preeti, please go ahead.
The voice was not clear actually, ma'am. Some network problem was there.
Okay. Go ahead, Preeti.
Ma'am, my question is that you were saying that I also don't provide scribe to my students. I am against this. So, ma'am, what if a child needs a scribe and he gets frustrated while reading and writing? He really gets frustrated. Then what to do? If you people will not allow scribe, then who will allow?
No.
If you are against this, then who will be in favor of this? And how to cope up with these problems?
Yeah. So that is, I know you held on to that statement. I knew that some people will object to that, but you did not hold on to my rest of the statement. I give them the scribe till the time they are not fully comfortable with the technology. My goal is to make them independent. My goal is to make them use technology for reading and writing. I give them the scribe till the time they are fully comfortable with technology. And my team gives them the training day in, day out, so that they become familiar, they become comfortable with technology as soon as possible. Right?
Ma'am, I agree. But I was asking that if people are not providing as sir was also saying, they are not providing the technology and not scribe, then how to cope up with the situation in higher education? Till 12th, some schools are providing. So our children are able to study till 12th in CBSE, though they are not getting the subject accordingly. You told that there are barriers, they are not allowed to take science and different many things. There are very, very less accommodation. But what if in higher study they are not able to get scribe, and how to cope up with this situation? I want to know this.
Yeah. So like I said to Premal also, the first route for you can be a legal one. In a way, it's not easy to put a case on anybody, but you can always pull out the documents from the UGC website, which has given the guidelines to every college for what kind of support are they supposed to provide to the students. It's all given on the UGC website. Take it out, download, take a hard copy, go and meet those people. Tell them that this is what the UGC is providing. May we know why you are not ready to do this? Have a courage to do this. It might happen for you. That's exactly what this girl did. And I know a few other people who have done this. They go and tell them that this is what the UGC is giving. Many people, many colleges are not even aware that there are guidelines from UGC because they don't want to know. Right? Maybe you become the messenger for them. Take these documents to them. They might, I can't say will, they might actually agree if you want to take that route. If you talk about what I said about... Sorry?
Secondly, I also agree with your second point also, that if in case the college is not sensitive enough to give you technology help, then probably that's not the right college for your child.
Yeah, but again, I know that can be a very tricky choice for the parent, because maybe it's a good college. Maybe, your kid would like to study in that college, right? So then you, like I said, push them for what the government is mandating for them. These colleges are not aware. I'll tell you what, UGC sends out these guidelines to every college. It goes to the registrar of every college. It doesn't go to the professors, or it doesn't go to the administrators to that extent. It just goes to the registrar. Now, what does the registrar do with that letter? They may just keep them on the side, right? They may not tell. Most of them don't. Right? So if you become that messenger, nothing like that. The professor, the registrar would definitely have it. Every college has got it. Everybody has got it. Does that help, Preeti?
I request all other parents to mute themselves.
Yes, ma'am, it helped, and I will take the courage to do that, and then I will talk to you if I would have some problem.
Definitely.
At present, my children is in class 12th. Let's see, though I am very worried.
You know, I strongly feel that, you know, parents can actually make that difference. We all have to just raise our voices against these people who are not agreeing to the mandates. These are government mandated instructions and guidelines. They can't say no to it.
Sanika, can you mute those parents whose background noise is coming up? Thank you. So Reena, we can go ahead with the presentation in case you have, otherwise we'll...
No, I was just reading some of these questions. Yeah. Other UGC, they are applicable to all colleges. Yeah. Okay, anyway. So I'll move on. A quick mention of how things change from school to college. At school level, of course, you all know, students have these learning support, the IEPs, and a holistic intervention. Nothing like that happens at college level. There is a broad category of disability because there is a quota given by the government, right? So the government funded universities and colleges will have 5% quota. Private universities do not have quota. Like Ashoka University does not have a quota, right? The focus is on accommodations. Special interventions are not necessarily available at college level. At high school, of course, the parents, the caregivers, you all coordinate with the teachers, the counselors, and you are actively involved. At college level, doesn't happen. You don't have any much active role to play there. Students need to advocate for themselves. So you know how things are going to change when they go into higher education. And you cannot expect the students to suddenly, mold themselves into a college scenario without being prepared for it. Right? So just be aware of this. I know, I mean, I don't want to go into too many details, but just be aware. Be aware, like I think this is what Preeti and Premal were also talking. There are different kinds of support system. There will be some colleges which have no support system at all. There will be some colleges where some is available and in a very limited way. Of course, and then there are colleges where it's a very well-structured support system. But important thing is that the student's success in any of the above systems largely depends on their own readiness before joining college. So there is a lot to be done while they are at school level. Yeah.
And this is going to be the most favorite question of every parent, Reena. If you could elaborate it a little more. Which one? Readiness at the school level, college readiness at the school level.
Yeah, I think my next slide does cover that. This is what is required to be ready for college. Yes, there has to be ready for college, to be ready for future. Yes, there is a competency required in content areas. Yes, there are coping skills required. executive functioning skills, training in assistive technology. I will take questions about this slide if anybody hasn't understood what means, which part means what. Do we know what content areas we are talking about? Do we know what coping skills we are talking about? The executive functioning skills, the assistive technology. Executive functioning skills are time management. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. We had few questions related to assistive technology.
Yeah. So I too have a very brief summarized slide on assistive technology. Should I go to that? I know people have questions. This is the one. Examples of assistive technology. The devices, basically. Your tablets, your iPad, your iPhone, your laptops, computers, smartphones, Kindle, audiobooks, text to speech, speech to text. There are a lot of reading, writing related technology. These are like really, really just a very outer gist of it. There are technologies where you don't really need to write. You just dictate, you just say it. So for example, we all have Microsoft Word. If you have Word 365, it has there is a tool called Dictate there. Dictate. If you see that on a Microsoft Word, just open that Word document, click on that Dictate, just say what you have to say. It just keeps writing everything word to word. I won't say it is 100% accurate, but it's fairly accurate for anybody to get all their thoughts there. No, you don't have to worry about the spellings, the grammar. The way you say it, it's going to come out there. The similar one is called speech notes. It takes the punctuation also, full stop, comma. Use Grammarly. Students who struggle with the grammar aspect, bring in Grammarly. It has made life so much easier for all our students with neurodivergence, especially the ones who struggle with grammar or putting their thoughts on paper.
So we have two more questions on the content and executive functioning skills.
Yeah. So I'll go back. The content is the competency in content is basically the subject area that a student wants to study in. Yes, they will need to know that content, whichever subject they are going for. Even if it is music, whether it is art, science, whatever they are picking up. Yes, there is a level of competency required there because they want to be knowledge ready, they want to be future ready. Coping skills, what kind of strategies do they need to have with them to manage their reading, writing skills? How do they manage? How do they, if they struggle with something, what are they going to do to cope with that challenge? Emotionally as well as academically. You know, there is one concept I have always talked about is safety net. You know, every student needs to build a safety net around them. And that safety net is the, people whom they can reach out to whenever they struggle, the resources they can approach when they struggle, and the places, the safe space at home, in college, in school, wherever they are, that calms them. Those are their safety nets and those are their coping skills. They need to be fully aware of them. Executive functioning skills, extremely important. Believe me, disability or no disability. College experience is fruitful, successful, only for those students who have good executive functioning skills, because college experience, college life is so open, so wide, such a huge platter for you. You need to be able to manage your time. You need to be able to learn how to ask for help, manage your emotions, manage your feelings to be able to be successful in college. Those are all executive functioning skills. Time is a huge, huge issue. Of course, with the current this social media obsession, it's tough for these kids to focus on the work that they are doing. And that all is part of the executive functioning skills. Technology, we have already talked about. Briefly, of course, assistive technology is a huge chapter, huge.
Reena, we have a question from our YouTube parent. The question is, from the YouTube parent. Her daughter has less exposure and just finished 10th. Any tips on how to understand her strength and competency?
You know, there are, I think we have the checklist that I have given in a way is more for these kids to know about themselves. There is a process of assessments. Now, I know some people use assessments only for a diagnosis, but I suggest, and because I have myself been an assessor for good 16, 17 years, and I know if we go for a good assessment that completes the, all the areas for doing the assessment, you can pull out a good pile of strengths for your ward and a pile of areas of challenge for your kid. That's a huge thing. And believe me, this is called demystification. After the assessment, I used to sit with the student and I would make sure that the strengths that I talk about, the pile of strengths, means I would have the demystification cards with me, like physical cards. I would have a bigger pile of strengths for that kid and a smaller pile of challenges for that kid. This exercise itself used to make such a huge difference. The moment you show these kids physically, concretely, that you have more strengths, and they actually have, you're not faking it. You're not making it up. It's just that you have to pull those cards out, which actually talk about their strengths. Make a bigger, taller pile of their strengths as compared to their weaknesses. This will give a good understanding of who they are, what they need in their academic scenario.
Dr. Jaspreet wants to know which assessment tool would you recommend?
Well, there are many, Jaspreet. I mean, I used to do Woodcock-Johnson. But yes, there is whisk that is being done. I have always depended on Woodcock-Johnson. I've always found it extremely good. Because for me, the assessment was not only for that one word of dyslexia to be written somewhere on the report. I would rather focus on the other area. I mean, the reason why the dyslexia has come out as a diagnosis. I would focus more on that than the final diagnosis.
Ma'am, I really hope I'm not talking out of turn here. आप ज़्यादा SLD की बात कर रहे हो ना? You're talking more about SLD or children on the spectrum with high abilities. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be political. I'm going to be politically incorrect here. Are we talking about an IQ bracket here?
No.
You're not talking about children with slightly lower IQ, are you? Are you?
No, I am.
Okay.
So see, strengths, Jaspreet, if you're talking, if this question is with respect to the pile that I'm talking about, piles of strength. No?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
This was basically, I'm so sorry. That's why I said I'm digressing here. This was related to the entire presentation that you had so far. School readiness, college readiness at school level.
Yeah.
Being able to assess yourself, knowing your own strengths and weaknesses, competency in content areas, coping skills. So let's say there's a Down syndrome child, somebody with a Down syndrome person will usually have an IQ between, let's say, 50 and 65, has good executive functioning skills. Most children with Downs will be very good with their time, managing social skills, but the IQ is not exceeding 65. Would you still recommending this college? You think they can cope with the colleges?
See, again, now coming to when we talk about college readiness, Jaspreet, we are talking about institution after school, right? College can be an academic college. College can be a vocational college. Correct? See, again, it's what I am going to talk about is going to be covering everyone. Now it's up to the professional as well as a parent to apply it to their ward. What I'm saying is going to not be fitting word to word for every child. Of course, that's not possible, right?
Understood.
But the areas that I'm talking about fits into every profile. When I talk about content area, I talk about every student there. When I talk about coping skills, these are applicable to every student with an IQ of 50 or 60 or 160. Right? It is up to the professional and the parent to apply it to them. Coping skills are required for every human being. Content area doesn't have to be an academic content area only, right? If you are thinking of only content, cannot be only textual or for academic. If they are into school system, if they are going through an education currently, there must be some content related to, it can be any subject, right? Whatever they are going to take up after class 12, even if it is vocational, whichever area they go into, that's their content. And they need to be competent in that. They need to get enough training in that. Yeah. Okay.
Understood. Yeah.
I would like to invite all other parents, and whatever questions they have, they can ask, because we will have some more time to wind up the session.
Yeah.
Can you share some executive functioning skill enhancing resources to prepare children for college? How to manage their time? Is there any handout or any website, anything that you can point out to? That will really be useful. Thank you.
Yeah. So I will share with Bhavna, with Saamarthya basically. So we recently conducted this college readiness program for neurodivergent students. We have a cohort of 17 students there. And this is also for Jaspreet. Jaspreet, that group of 17 students, we have quite a few students who are low on IQ, if IQ is what we are talking about. We have taken them as a neurodivergent student. We are training them on becoming an independent learner. So all the executive functioning skills, steps, strategies are being conveyed to them. We did a 5-day-long instructor-led sessions for them. Of course, they are with us for the entire year. These are high school students, classes 9th to 12th. So the question on executive functioning skills that you're talking about, the resources, we will soon be starting a website on college readiness, and we will be uploading all the resources there for high school students to use. I will share all those details with Bhavna and with Saamarthya. You can just check that website. It will take a few weeks for it to be ready, but all the resources will be there. Executive functioning skills, time management, note-taking, this is all, of course, academic focused, but overall to how to become an independent learner. Yeah. Okay, this is something we have covered. Identify okay, so we are done with that, the self-awareness and the managing of the expectations from our wards, right? This is the fourth part, which is the identify the best suited programs and services for your ward. Yeah, Mansi?
So my question is related to the assessment that when we go for assessment, like my child has just given 10th exam and she went for assessment. Okay, that was a normal. I did not say what the condition of my child is because we were also not aware of it. So the assessment was already taken before we realized what is the condition. After realizing in the month of December, I came to know that my child is having SLD. Now, what happens when you are taking an assessment? You are saying that the child is capable enough for going for math and science, and all that. And as soon as I say that my child has been diagnosed, like in the sense has been given a condition as SLD, so immediately they come up with NIOS and all that. So I don't understand what kind of an assessment was that, and how was it not highlighted? So when if I want to after 12th, if I want to go for again assessment, should I specify that my child is SLD and then because then the a perception of the counselor also changes immediately. So how you started the conversation of this webinar that we parents are always towards no, you can't do this. We are more towards negativity that you can't read and write, who can help you out. That kind of a parent approach is there, which is absolutely right. I realize that also in me that my approach towards my child has been in a different way because I also don't know how to help her out because I just came to know across this thing right now only. So I want to know that if I'm going for assessment, what should I talk with the counselor before? How I think I am clear with my concept.
Yeah, so I don't know which assessment you're talking about. Somebody did the assessment without your knowledge is something which is, I am not able to understand that because a psychoeducational assessment doesn't happen in school, right? It happens with a psychologist. So you as a parent would be taking your kid there or, so how did somebody do the assessment without your knowledge is what I don't understand.
No,
Plus,
it was
your
that
knowledge is
the school after 10th school always does the assessment, right? That was career counseling. Okay. Now the career counseling happened in the month of June, July, or August. We came across after September only. We came across that the child should go for psycho assessment. Okay, so then we started those kind of assessment, and the psycho assessment came up with the this SLD thing in the month of December. Okay, but the career counselor assessment that had come out, which told me that she can approach for maths and science. As soon as I told her in the month of January, that week, she has been given as a condition as SLD. So immediately she changed the okay, then don't go for maths and science. So I did not like that approach. In fact, it was very offensive, and at the same time, I got confused. That it's the same child. Just because I told you, now you're changing your verdict.
Yeah, you don't have to listen to them. Just ignore them. You know what your kid can do.
So that
You just go ahead with the science and math if he is interested in it.
okay. So in the 12th, again, I'll be going because I know my condition of my child, and obviously I'll be working on it for her reading, writing, and math skills that she's having little issues. But then again, in the 12th, after 2 years of this what they call remedial, after 2 years of remedial, if I'm going for 12, am I supposed to specify to the career counselor that she is having condition of SLD? Or should I just keep shut?
See, career counselors at schools are there to just guide you a little bit. You as a parent has a bigger, I have seen that across that was with my son also. I took their guidance, but I did what I had to do as a parent. I knew what my kid can do, and I just went ahead and did it. They are just sitting there to guide you a little bit. If it doesn't suit you, if it doesn't go with your plan, just keep them on the side. Yeah, I mean, I would strongly recommend if you think your kid can go for these courses, definitely they should go for it. Nobody should be stopping them.
So parents want to know the ways of improving executive functioning skills and assistive technology. As Reena has already mentioned, that Ashoka University is going to put a website where all the resources will be available. We at Saamarthya would also, become a channel to provide you all that information. You yourself can go directly to the site whenever there's information available.
Yeah, and I think till then, Saamarthya can pull out the resources for it and can share.
Sure, we'll be glad to do so.
Yeah. Okay. So I have a few more slides, so let me just quickly get done with it now, and then I'll open it for questions. This is just a quick mention of backward planning. Just have some thought of, what kind of careers can my ward go for, what kind of placements, just rough idea, and various opportunities, various options available to them. Then do a backward planning of what kind of a college can I look for them, and then the most important bit, what subjects should my ward take while being in the NIOS board. The subjects in classes 9th to 12th play the most important role here. That is what at least I have seen, I have experienced, I have observed. Students tend to take courses which do not take them to the area that they want to do, take up as a career. Sometimes the schools push for easier subjects because schools have their own interests in a way. Or maybe they are right also that some students may do better in those subjects, and that's absolutely fine, right? But choose your courses wisely is what I would suggest here. Go for the courses which will take you to the next step, which doesn't put a block after class 12th. Lot of students, lot of parents, they say, oh, we could have gone for that college, but that college says that you don't have the subjects required to enter that college. So be very, very careful about that. That kind of a backward planning is extremely important. We were talking about the career choices. What kind of careers can we go for? There's a plethora of information, plethora of courses, plethora of options available for you. We as parents, we as educators, we just have to open our minds to these, right? I will share this sheet with, again, Saamarthya, and they can forward it to you, but these are the options available for anybody, going for academic or non-academic careers after class 12th. College choice, yes, college specific, what you need to look for, what is the program that the college offers, what is their admission criteria, of course, distance from home, rigor of institution, the campus size sometimes plays a role there, the reputation of the institution, the extracurricular act, of course, there's a whole list, residential versus day boarding. That's a very, very college specific checklist. Support specific, yes, you will want the college to provide this academic support for admission at the admission time and later on. Is there any skill-based support there? Means executive functioning skills, the coping skills that we have been talking about. Technology. I think the questions were coming up. They are not allowing the laptop. So are they open to students using technology? So these are very support specific information that you need to carry with you. You need to know, while you are looking for colleges, looking for options after class 12th. Social and emotional related support. Students do need that support after school. You as parents will not be there with them for very long, right? Can't be with them while they are in colleges or wherever they go for higher education. So they need to have some support. If you are not there, somebody else need to be able to support them. And yes, do they allow some family support needs to be with them throughout, just as a support or as a safety net, like I said earlier, from the side has to be there. Right? Access to previous providers means whatever special educators, remedial teachers, counselors they had when they were in school, keep that alive, keep that ready for them even when they are in college. They should be able to fall back on them if they struggle. Again, the safety nets. They are the safety nets for your ward. Subject choices, I think you will know better than me actually the kind of courses. I've just put the link here, the kind of courses that subject choices that NIOS offers, you would know. But what I just did was we went through the careers, like we said, careers, then colleges, what to look for, and the subjects to choose from. Again, repeating, choose the subjects carefully. The college readiness kit, like a toolkit, needs to be available with you. Make a checklist. Make a college readiness checklist. Yeah, I have these, those black colored, what I have written there, planning and shortlisting colleges, understanding my current learning needs. I have the documents with me for each one of them. If we have time, I can show them right now here, or I can maybe forward them to Bhavna and she can share with you later. List of universities. I'm not able to read that. Okay, list of universities or institutions recognizing NIOS examinations and certification. Vocation, these are all lists that I have here. Vocational institutions that offer technical training. Vocational institutions that offer bachelor degrees and diplomas. There is a whole list.
This is
Bhavna,
very useful. Yeah, this is very useful resource, Reena. We would love to share this information within our parents community. So post this webinar. If you could share it with us, we will put it in our group and we will send them via mail also.
Yeah. So I think this is extremely important. Another more important area that you need to work on. Be fully aware of what colleges options are available, whether they are academic or non-academic, whether they are vocational or skill-based or totally fully academic focused institutions. Be aware, but be aware of the fact that no college can say no to the student if they come from the NIOS board. NIOS board has equal recognition like any other state or national board. There is, and this is true for even the competitive examinations. Student who has done NIOS can sit for any competitive examination. Of course, everything goes back to the subjects that the board is studying. If they have the courses or subjects in NIOS, which will allow them to sit for engineering exam, or this is just an example, or for any university, sitting for Ashoka University, sitting for IIT, sitting for any vocational, all colleges. Like I've just heard that TIS, the Tata Institute of Social Sciences at Mumbai, they have started a bachelor's in vocational studies, and I think they are offering some very good courses there. So there are many colleges which are offering vocational courses also. And these are bachelors, these are degree level courses. And then of course there are diploma level courses also. So all of these skill based courses are available. There are many colleges which government has opened up. It's just us as parents to be fully aware and go for them. Go and ask them. If they are available, they should be able to give you the admission. So NIOS cannot be a hindrance. There is what I'm saying. The subject choices that you make can be a hindrance. That's why I'm saying, I'm repeating, choose your subjects very carefully while you are in NIOS. Options are definitely available after class 12th if the courses are, the right ones for that college. Okay. I will share all these lists with Saamarthya and they can forward it to you. So I think this is the last one. Almost the last one. Just remember, the outside world of careers can be very different from the known world of academics. What ultimately will bring success to your ward is these three things. Maintain their self-esteem, train them in technology, develop effective strategies that work for them, not general strategies, that actually work, specific strategies that work for your ward. Focus on these three, maintain the self-esteem, train them in technology, develop these strategies for them. It will work. It has worked. I have seen it working. And everybody has their own area where they excel. It doesn't have to be academic all the time. It doesn't have to be vocational all the time. It can be whichever area they want to go in. This is the last one. What we all are doing needs a nationwide movement. So that is why the struggles that Premal talked about, Sujata and I think Mansi, somebody, Preeti talked about, there are challenges. Schools, colleges, there are enough challenges to, for us, for parents and kids to go through. And that is why we need a movement. We need sessions like these. We need programs like these to bring out that awareness. So you as a parent have a huge role to play there. Right? Somebody said that I'm going to play that role. I'm going to show them that document, UGC document, show it to them, make it work for your kid.
Reena, I don't have words to say how beautiful this information session was. And it is very much evident from the parents' comments and the questions and the queries which are pouring in. We had over 100 number of parents. We had to turn them out because there was a limited, up to 100 we could take. Rest of them were hearing you over YouTube link. I will request all the parents to, we have shared those who are not still not part of Saamarthya and SNIC WhatsApp group. There are links shared in the chat box. Please go ahead, join the group, because there will be all the information which Reena has given here, and which whatever she will pass it on to us, we will share it with all of you, with all the parents. And with that note, it's a personal thanks to Reena. It has always been lovely to hear you, work with you, know lots of things. And I would like to invite Shivani to say her words and take the session further.
Thank you so much, Bhavna, and thank you so much, Reena. This is incredible what information and knowledge sharing you've done for our families. Like Bhavna said, we had over 100 and we had many people joining us via YouTube Live. So we have reached out to a lot of families today, this evening. Sanika, if you don't mind, please share the link of Saamarthya's community WhatsApp group as well. So we have two WhatsApp groups, parents. One is a Saamarthya SNIC WhatsApp group and a Saamarthya community group. So we will be sharing all the resources that Reena ji will share with us later on both the groups. So you will not miss any information. You will be in one or the other groups and we'll make sure that you get all the information. Anything else you need later on, you can reach out to either me directly or Harshali at SNIC Rehab Foundation. We will get you any other information that you need regarding this topic. And have we done our final slides PowerPoint presentation?
No, we still have to do it.
Please go ahead and do that.
Sure. I can't share the screen.
One second. Go ahead now.
Yeah. Great.
While Riddhi is pulling up the PowerPoint again, I would just like to do a vote of thanks to you, Reena. Thanks for sharing your valuable time and your expertise on a Friday evening. I know it's not easy. So each one of us here, the parent community appreciates you and your time. And thank you to all the parents also for joining us. Very religiously, you do this every single Friday. Whatever topic we come up with, you are here to listen, to learn, and to make those changes for your children. So we are extremely inspired by all of you and continue to come back. While Riddhi is pulling up, I'm going to talk about the next week's Friday session is going to be NIOS and vocational avenues. So do come back for that with Shalu Sharma. It's going to be another incredibly important learning opportunity. Riddhi, go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Shivani. So this is about Saamarthya. We are a non-for-profit organization who has a sliding scale model. When we say sliding scale model, basically we want to serve all the families with whatever resources they have available. We are using multiple regional languages. So when we do our intervention sessions, we do use Marathi, Hindi, English, whatever the child needs and whatever the family is comfortable with. We are again, doing online and offline sessions both. So just using a lot of technology to reach out to the families. While we do all of this online and offline, we also have a center in Baner, Pune. It is called a Family Resource Center. So we just don't want to empower the students, but we want to empower the entire family. And hence we have programs developed. One of it is this one, the parent webinar. We do have sibling support groups. There are one-on-one intervention groups, group session, parent consultation, parent counseling. We do have Club Ananda, which is an online activity where there are students coming in from worldwide. So we are serving the children and we want to reach out to each and every family who are in the need. We are also focusing on parents and, training the parents for it. And we are just trying to create as much awareness as we can with our inclusive storytelling. We do have collaborative things, just like we had Mrs. Reena today. We are just meeting, all the professionals in the field and working towards it. So that's about Saamarthya. I hope you all can see my next screen. Yeah. I want to take this opportunity to introduce you to this program, which is called as UDAN, which is exclusively designed for children who would want to explore the option of NIOS, National Institute of Open Schooling. We are serving this as an online program, and we want to serve for the secondary and senior secondary students. Along with the UDAN program, where we are doing NIOS, we are also teaching the students the life skills. Just like what Ms. Reena said, we really want to empower the children, make them ready for the real life, the real world, outside the comfort zone, outside that bubble. So we are training the students for it. We will share the form link in the group over here in the Zoom chat, also in the WhatsApp group. So please go look out for it and fill the form if you are interested to enroll your child for the UDAN program. And here are the highlights, which I've almost covered everything. It is expert-led, and we are going to customize the curriculum for each of the students and, make it child-centric. And in case if you want to know more about the program, please feel free to get in touch. Ms. Bhavna Pandey, the one who was facilitating the program, is going to take a lead on it. And I'm also going to help with them. So if in case you want to get in touch with any one of us, feel free to email us or call us on this number. Thank you so much. Is there anything else that we need to address in terms of question, Ms. Bhavna?
I don't think so. We have all the questions are already answered. It's still in case parents have any question, there are email IDs flashing on your screen. Feel free to write to us. We will get back to you with the support and the answer.
Yes. Thank you so much again, Ms. Reena. It was a pleasure having you here. Yes, Ms. Bhavna.
Some parents probably wants to get Ms. Reena contact number. So that depends on Ms.
I'll
Reena.
just reshare my screen. I'm so sorry, parents. I'm going to reshare my screen. You can take a screenshot of it.
No, Ms. Reena Gupta's contact details.
Her number. Okay, we are going to share that in the chat as well, if that's okay for you, Ms. Reena.
No, we'll have to take her permission first. So
Yeah, I'm happy to share my email ID first. If they can
Sure.
write an email to me, and I can then share my number with them separately. Email
Yeah.
ID, definitely. Yes, yeah, that will be helpful.
And for the parents here, we have just shared a registration link for our UDAN program, which is supporting children on their NIOS journey. Please do click the registration link in case you are interested in participating in that program. And yes, the timings for next Friday session will also be the same, 6 o'clock India time. रीना जी, आप कुछ लास्ट में कहना चाहेंगी as a closing thought?
I mean, I would, of course, there's so much to say, but my thing is that, just as a parent, I know how everybody feels, and there can be few topics, few titles that even I talked about, which may not be directly applicable to your ward. But like I said, it's really about the skills and how we prepare our kids for future. For me, honestly, the real meaning of education is that we want our kids to be independent and be happy, right? Now, whatever makes them happy and independent, whichever field, whichever subject, whichever career makes them happy and independent is what we all need to prepare them for, because it takes years. Any kind of these skills, it takes years for them to get proficient with that. So start as early as possible is what I'm saying, and not go for something which they may not feel successful in or may not have much to offer there. So it's everybody has something to offer. We as parents, we as educators have to just identify that. It doesn't matter what IQ. Honestly, I don't believe in that. Everybody has that. Individual differences is so strong for me, and we got to value and respect that. We as parents, we as grandparents, we as educators, we need to respect our kids. If we don't, it shows in our behavior and our interactions with them. It shows, whether you are aware of it or not. These kids are very perceptible. They know that you are not respecting them as an individual. Yeah, so just be careful of that. Value your kid, value what they have to offer in this community.
And once again, I'd like to say that thank you to you and Ashoka University for taking this initiative and ensuring that our neurodivergent students have a place. And I hope that many other universities in the country follow your example and really are able to create these kinds of programs for our children. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me here. It was a pleasure. It was, in fact, an honor for me.
Wonderful.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you to all the parents for being here again on a Friday evening. Your dedication and commitment, I always am so hats off to all of you for coming back week after week. And we will ensure that all the resources are shared with you on the WhatsApp groups that we have linked. If you haven't had a chance, just go back to the chat and find those two links there. One is for Saamarthya community and one is for Saamarthya SNIC collaboration group. Either one of the groups, if you join, you'll be able to get all the information about all our webinars, not just the one that we did today, but the one coming up next. And we will continue to offer these sessions on a regular basis on various different topics. As we talk to parents and learn what their challenges are, we then curate these sessions. We talk to the relevant experts and we bring them on board to ensure that you have the knowledge that you need. And so keep in touch with us. Let us know if there's any specific topic that you're looking for. Contact me directly. You have my number on the WhatsApp groups. You can feel free to message me. I'm always available on WhatsApp. And would love to see you all back again next week to talk about vocational avenues. And any questions you have, feel free to message, like I said. And the group is always active for your participation. Thank you to each one of you. And thanks again to my team for all their work. And last but not the least, Harshali, as always, for being here and for ensuring that all the vision that Saamarthya has reaches out to as many parents as possible. So thank you so much for that. On that note, all of you have a wonderful weekend and we'll see you next week.